Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is July 6th, and right now we are looking at the GOES 18 satellite imagery. I want to point out a few things here as we scroll on in through yesterday. You can see some of the smoke bubbling around there, Lake Chelan, but watch as we go towards the evening hours here. You can really see the hot spot on the GOES 18 satellite. There goes that plume of smoke down Lake Chelan here and off to the south and east across eastern Washington. We go through the overnight hours and you can kind of see the hot spot still there. We now emerge in towards this morning. You notice it kind of disappears here, but it may flare back up again this afternoon. But look at some of this lenticular cloud activity off to the east of Mount Rainier as well. You can kind of just see it stand over the Cascade Mountains as we went through this morning. You can see it just kind of sitting right there, but it's dissipated now. So kind of interesting. Always fun to look at the GOES 18 satellite imagery. But the big story coming up here is the heat wave, and we're going to dive into those details. We set a lot of records yesterday. We're going to set some more, and we're going to take a look at the extended forecast as well, because we are potentially going to cool down as we go through the end of next week. We're going to take a look at what that potential looks like, and we're going to dive into that here as we go through the video this morning. Taking a look at the air quality index, doing much better than we were yesterday when we introduced all these pollutants from our fireworks into our atmosphere here. But yeah, definitely doing much better today. This is from that smoke there from the Pioneer Fire. Now, taking a look at the red flag warning, Cascades of Washington, above 1,500 feet. This goes through 11 p.m. Tuesday here. Heed all the fire restrictions, please, if you are out there camping or hiking. This is Portland National Weather Service. Look at this. Portland, Vancouver, Hillsborough, Salem, and Eugene all set daily record high. Salem destroyed its all-time record high for July 5th there by 4 degrees, set back in 1960. Portland, 99, almost to 100, and it's probably going to go towards 100 degrees as we go through the day today. This is Spokane. You can see we're trending upwards in some of these temperatures as we go through Tuesday and Wednesday, peak of the heat wave. And then you can see we start to cool things down a little bit here as we go through Thursday, Friday. More on that here as we go through the weather models. But of course, increasing fire danger as we go on into the early portion of the next week. Some major and extreme heat risk is possible. Now, taking a look at Medford National Weather Service, look at the West Side Valleys for Saturday. That is for today, 115 degrees, not out of the question, and still very warm Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday coming up. Great graphics here from the National Weather Service, Medford, Oregon recently. Red flag warning still in effect also. Again, this is Medford and low humidities, some gusty winds out there, and this goes through Sunday evening here. The fire weather watch red flag warning goes through today about 8 p.m. Taking a look at Seattle National Weather Service. This is for Tuesday. This temperature image that you see here on the right. Look at Chehalis, maybe approaching 99 by Tuesday, 98 for Olympia. You can see maybe some mid 90s by the Seattle Metro. Enumclaw 97, North Bend 98. Look at Gold Bar 96, Darrington 102 here. Rainy Pass, not so rainy right now, 88 degrees. So yeah, interesting stuff here. And again, the red flag warning is in effect, low relative humidities, and we're going to be warm for a few days here across western Washington. But look at Medford. 109, absolutely destroyed the old July 5th daily record high. Just absolutely crushed. That is a huge beating. There's 7 degrees. Montague, look at Roseburg, 6 degrees. North Bend beat it by 11 degrees here. That was set back in 1913 there. So impressive stuff. Impressive heat wave already, and more records are going to be falling. Taking a look at the thunderstorm potential, mainly for Missoula, Butte, east as we go through today, some of the Rocky Mountains up there through Canada also, but not across Washington, Oregon, or western British Columbia. And this is day 2, pushes on a little bit further east, so not worried about the thunderstorm activity, at least right now. That could change, though, as we go through the upcoming week and in towards the end of next week. Look at Seattle yesterday, 89 degrees, just missing 90 degrees, and 91, the all-time daily record high, was set back in last year. Sunday is probably the best chance we have to set a daily record high for Seattle. The record high is 90, and we're probably going to be into the lower 90s here as we go on in through Sunday. So taking a look now at Quileute, they broke an all-time daily record high as well, 85 degrees here, and they set a daily record high last year on the 4th of July of 93. This is Olympia, 92 yesterday. Didn't quite get that daily record high, but they do have the chance to hit some of those as we come up in the next few days as well. And this is for, we're looking at Hoquiam now. Hoquiam 83 yesterday, just 2 degrees off the all-time daily record high in 1960. And if you want a nice, affordable home weather station to record all this crazy weather we get here across Pacific Northwest, this is a very affordable option, at least compared to other much more expensive weather stations. Stores all the data for you in the cloud. It does its own forecast for your individual location. It's got an ultrasonic anemometer, haptic rain gauge, solar panels here. Highly recommend this great smartphone app. You don't even have to open the app here to see the widget, the temperature, the thermometer there at your house. Yeah, highly recommend that one. So let's take a look here at what is going on. This is the European artificial intelligence model as of last night, and the classic signature to our heat waves here in the Pacific Northwest is this thermal trough. We get a little bit of offshore flow here, and you get this low pressure that comes up the coastline here. And as we put this into motion, you're going to notice something as this kind of shifts off to the east here as we go through the day Wednesday. So we're going to start to get some more onshore flow. You can see the higher pressure again building out over the Pacific Ocean. Of course, the air wants to go from high to low, so we're going to kick some onshore flow and start to cool places down a bit, at least from these lofty temperatures that we will be experiencing here over the next few days. And then as we scroll off in towards the next weekend, you can see we got a system out here across the Gulf of Alaska, and that could cool us down maybe even a little bit further, maybe reintroduce some thunderstorm activity here across the region. We'll see how that goes. And you can see as we go well off into the extended, we're looking over 10 days out right now, so you take it with a grain of salt, but it shows a nice system swinging through British Columbia there, which would cool us down. However, at the end of the run, it wants to build another ridge here, and you can kind of see that thermal trough re-emerging here off the coast of California, moving up across Oregon as we go to the very end of the run here. But you take that with a grain of salt. It's just kind of fun to look at. We'll see how that trends. So this is looking at a view that many of you guys have commented on that you like to see. This is the northern hemisphere. There's Alaska. There's Washington. Here's the Hawaiian Islands. You can see Japan over there. There's Africa. And this is basically, we're looking at the polar lobes here across the northern hemisphere. And of course, during the summer months here, the Earth is tilted towards the sun, so we are warming the northern hemisphere much more. So these polar lobes are much weaker versus in the winter. And you can see our ridge here as we go on in through Sunday morning up across western BC. And that just continues to be with us as we go through the early portion of next week, then finally starts to kick off to the east a little bit here, and we're going to cool down by the time we get towards Wednesday. And you can see this polar lobe here kind of swinging across the Gulf of Alaska. It's going to help kind of kick that ridge off to the east a bit. But yeah, kind of interesting to watch. So let's put it into motion here for a second. You can kind of see how the circulation of the planet works. Now, taking a look at the GFS, we're looking at North America now. This is Alaska, Washington, Oregon. The axis of the ridge here is up the west coast of North America all the way into the Gulf of Alaska, pointed towards southern Alaska. There's a system out over the Gulf of Alaska right there. So we put that into motion. You can kind of see how this axis is just slow moving now into Sunday morning here. And by the time we get towards Monday, it's almost directly over western Washington into western BC. But then as we go on in through Tuesday, another very warm day, probably the warmest day here west of the Cascades before that axis slides to the east. And that's when we're going to start to kick some more onshore flow and cool things down a bit here. And you can kind of see that system swinging through western British Columbia here. We flatten out that ridge a bit as we go through the upcoming weekend, and we continue on to the future. We just kind of watch things, and you can see this system kind of moving around the Gulf of Alaska, probably at least keeping the ridge off to the east a bit more and keeping us more in an onshore flow. But we'll see how that trends, and we'll continue to watch that and break it down day by day. Looking at Seattle Tacoma GFS ensemble mean, I brought this up, I believe, yes, this is yesterday morning's 89 we hit. GFS not too bad with the 88, but you can see how we, again, probably going towards 90, 91, 92 here today for SeaTac, and then even ramping things up a bit more as we go through Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Very warm days coming up here, and it wants to keep us with one more very warm day there on Wednesday. We'll see how that goes. We can see kind of that extended warmth here as we go on into the future. I think it might be overdoing some of these days, but again, we'll be breaking it down day by day, so no need to worry about the extended forecast right there too much just yet. But we do have very warm days coming through at least Tuesday coming up here. And you can kind of see that here. This cross section here is at 10,000 feet, and the bottom here is at the surface. This is SeaTac Airport, and you can see the afternoon warmth here coming up. So this would be for today, Saturday. There's Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday probably being the warmest day. Well, we get another decent day there on Wednesday. We'll see how that goes. But you can see some cooler air aloft here, and the afternoon highs not nearly as hot as we go through the extended forecast on the GFS. This is the same thing looking at Eugene, Oregon here, and you can see very warm days coming up through Tuesday before the potential cool down down, or a bit of a cool down, and Portland International, something similar there as well. Now, Portland, as we go through Tuesday, look at this extreme wet bulb globe temperature. So very uncomfortable out there if you have any sports activities planned here through the weekend or through the early portion of next week. Heads up, keep your kids hydrated, or yourself if you're the weekend warrior type out there or whatnot, or if you're out and about working. I know a lot of construction workers might be out about as well. So heads up, very uncomfortable and kind of dangerous heat there across the Portland metro and some of the Willamette Valley, especially eastern Washington, Oregon. You already know that. I don't have to tell you that too much. Now, taking a look at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook through July 15th, west coast here above average, that kind of continues, and the below average signal all the way through the 15th here as well. This was issued yesterday. The fire danger here will be apparent. And look, by Tuesday and Wednesday, it even includes western Washington there in the elevated risk. So, yeah, but today, look at Portland Metro, Salem, Eugene, you guys are under the elevated risk as of right now. And NW7 there, the south central Cascades of Oregon, already under the high risk there. So anything that starts could spread rapidly. You can see NW11 as we start to go. And you see this little lightning bolt there for NW4 and NW11. That is a risk of some lightning here. So with that onshore flow coming back in here, we may get some more lightning into our region here, which of course can kick off some of these fires here. But you'll notice a lot of the brown out here and a lot of the red. So we are increasing fire danger here across Pacific Northwest. It's summertime. It's that time of year. But yeah, anyway, interesting stuff. GOES 18 satellite imagery. Very fun to watch that. You can really see these individual fires just pop up. Not doing too bad across the region otherwise. And yeah, I kind of wish I was out there this morning to kind of time-lapse that lenticular cloud activity, but it's kind of hit and miss this time of year. But anyway, yep, I hope you guys are having a good day. Be safe out there. I hope you're prepared for the heat. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.